Welcome to VHS Sisters, a nostalgic movie podcast with two actual real-life sisters. Get into some jammies, grab your favorite beverage, and come hang out with us as I force my little sister to watch all of the movies that she missed growing up. And here we are.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
It's time. It's finally time. The time has come to
Oh my gosh.
dive in to one of the most traumatic films of the 80s. But before we do, let's introduce ourselves, because that's what people do on podcasts.
That is what people do.
No, go ahead.
As I say, not to be confused, but we are sisters.
We are sisters, and I'm Saysha, and I'm the older sister.
I'm Melanie, and I'm the baby sister.
We are calling ourselves VHS Sisters because we are sisters, and I'm encouraging my little sister Melanie to watch movies that she's never watched for the first time. And I will be revisiting these movies, and we're going to figure out if they are actually good, or am I just lost in a sea of nostalgia? You know how it is. I'm sure you have movies like that where you're just like, you watch it and you're like, was that good?
Was that good? Does it bring me back to a place and time that was special? Yes. But it's something that you have to process and say, was this just a fever dream or was this an actual movie?
Well, this movie we're going to cover today, which is the 1984 film, The Neverending Story, is both sort of notoriously so. And I think folks who are, I want to say, later Gen X or elder millennial remember this with a lot of strong feelings.
Oh, yes.
And it was everywhere at the time. It was like a VHS staple, and it was always around. You saw it, you could get it, you get it from the library on a little library card. You could get the clamshell VHS, pop it in, and watch
Be Kind and Rewind.
Be Kind, Rewind, and watch a beautiful bisexually coded boy watch his horse die over and over again. we can start with that. We can just start with that.
The trauma, the sadness in this movie.
Yeah, we'll get into the trauma. We're going to actually have an actual structure for this today. But first of all, I want to hear a lot more from you. And I want to hear about, do you have any memories of this movie at all? Did you catch little snippets of it? I could not believe you have never watched this movie.
I've never watched this movie because
Incredible.
It was, what would that be, 8 years before I was even born.
Sure.
And we kind of had the trifecta of Disney, Nickelodeon, and Cartoon Network at that time. So it's like there was so much more to watch than like having to necessarily go back and watch older things. And I'm surprised maybe you did rent it from the library, because I don't think we had a copy on VHS of Neverending Story, but I could be wrong, because normally I would go through the stacks and look for stuff. I don't remember seeing one.
We did not have it on VHS. Our Aunt Jackie did. And so I have very strong memories of watching it at our aunt's house with our cousins, or me just watching it alone over and over on repeat. Specifically, certain scenes I'll talk about where I had to stop, rewind, and be like, what did they say? And it was such an interesting, I still want to get into your memories of it, but I'll just say right off the bat that rewatching this, I was remembering all of the moments in this movie where I was confused, because I would have been, it came out in 84. I was born in 80, and I probably watched it on VHS maybe like 86 or so. I would have been like 6 or 7 years old
Mm-hmm.
and kind of young. And there was a lot of things that happened. We can get into it. I was just like, what is happening?
Well, my other memories of it, I mean, I just knew who Falcor was the whole time. Like I've known who he is.
Icon legend. Falcor.
Icon legend. I didn't necessarily know that he was a luck dragon. He was just some sort of dragony sort of beast. And I also thought that it would be really cute if somebody affectionately named like a white Shih Tzu Falcor, because I feel like that's a great dog name.
Yeah, any little shitty white dog. That's you know the kind.
Yeah,
a little shitty white dog with a dirty face. That's always that's gonna be a Falcor.
The tear ducts just running.
Yeah.
But I besides that, I mean, I knew the song as well.
Okay.
The classic song, especially because it was featured in like a later season of Stranger Things.
Yes, the infamous singing Neverending Story scene, which I did not care for.
Right. It's just like, hello, what are we doing? This is a separate show.
So yeah, you have, so basically, and we'll try and start with this all the time. You have no emotional connection to it. No
emotional connection. Nope.
Wow.
Just know who Falcor is, and I know the song, and I could only imagine what this movie was about. So like, to my surprise, having learned about what it's about last night, I was like, whoa.
Yep. And did you know that it is a book and was a book first?
Found that out later. Did not know it was a book. Did you read the book first, or did you watch the movie? Or
I have read the book. I checked it out from our local library in our hometown. Mm-hmm. It is German. I didn't read it in German. It is, and I don't know if you could tell, it is a German ass movie.
Yeah, it seems a little like haunted European, like, which for them is like nostalgic and classic.
It's cozy to them. This movie is so cozy for them, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. No, like the scary rock person, like all this stuff. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening today?
Scary rock person.
Is everybody watching this and really feeling nostalgia? I was like legit terrified.
That's awesome. It is a German ass production, I believe. And I have a friend who's been to the Neverending Story Museum, which is in Germany, and you can go and they still have all of these puppets and you can go sit on Falcor's back. This is a thing that I think we should just go do.
I'm down.
Again,
I'm down. Any excuse to go to Germany, I'm down.
Yeah, I'm sure all of these animatronics and puppets are just like rotted, like half desiccated now with time.
I'm sure.
And traumatizing a whole new generation of children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the book is German. This I think it's Michael Ende is the author. And I cannot pronounce the name in German. I've tried, even though I do speak a little. I'm sure you could do a better job. You're Googling it quickly. Please
do. Google it right now.
Yeah, Neverending Story in German. It should pop up immediately. But the book is incredibly dark.
It says,
do you see it?
Die unendliche Geschichte.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. And there are some differences in the book. In the book, it's not called Fantasia, it's called Fantastica.
Oh.
Which I think Fantasia is better. It just kind of rolls off the tongue.
It does, but that's also more like a Disney later on, right? Disney's Fantasia was the whole thing.
I don't know if they were trying to sell. I don't know if there was like, I'm surprised there wasn't like a copyright thing, because Disney Fantasia came out much earlier.
Germany,
in the book, Bastian is like a fat kid. Oh. And like it's brought up a lot, like he's supposed to be some sort of like fat loser kid. So they just kind of, Bastian in the movie is just like a normal kid, a nerd. He likes to read. And the insane attic in the school that every school has.
My God.
every school attic has. Yeah. And the book also goes on to describe what happens when Bastian goes into Fantasia later. And there are some sequels. There's Neverending Story 2 and 3. And I think they did a TV series. The sequels we're not going to be speaking on the sequels.
Oh no.
Because they are very, very bad. I mean, it might be fun. I don't have an emotional connection to them. I remember hating them even when I was a kid.
It's not like Troll 2 where there's like, you know, a cult classic, like a cult following of this horrible movie or.
There might be. I think Jack Black was in one of the sequels.
Oh, interesting.
Jonathan Brandis. I don't know if you know who Jonathan Brandis is. He was like a teen star. Not in the 90s.
I probably, if I saw him, then I would know.
He was in the TV series It, the Stephen King's It. He was one of the kids. He plays Bill Denbrough. Anyway.
Didn't watch that.
It's a whole,
I've never even seen the classic It, but we'll do that for spooky time.
That's the one I'm talking about. The TV series. You've never seen the TV series It with Tim Curry?
I've never even seen the movie.
Oh, you can see the movie, but the Tim Curry version?
Yes.
Girl. Oh, that's a mini series.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It's a mini series. It's like 2-parter. We'll get to it. But anyway, so yeah, this is a German ass movie. I just want to start with that. In the sense, much like German fairy tales, they're just like, yeah, people die and bad things happen. And there's no hope unless you work for it. So buckle up, baby. That's life. The end.
Jeez.
So let's start with general thoughts. You don't have to say just give me your general feelings about this movie, right off the bat. Like you can start with the beginning. What general thoughts and feelings and things that you remember?
Well, they definitely up in a way where this kid has experienced trauma and the dad is asking his 9-year-old son to you're gonna have to hurry up and get over the fact that your mom's dead at 9 years old. Why don't you be real and go to math class? And it's excuse me. I'm just a boy.
Yeah, and he's like, quit drawing unicorns in your book, you slur.
Yeah, you insert slur here.
Yeah, yes.
Oh no.
I mean, Bastian, he just seems like a normal kid. Did you notice in this kitchen scene where the dad and Bastian are hanging out, do you notice the disgusting smoothie that the dad makes?
Yeah, very gross. And much like you were saying before that, the 80s, people try to remember it like this colorful time. It was actually very brown. That kitchen was horrible. Kitchen was a nightmare.
That kitchen brought up a lot of feelings because I was like, oh, right. Everything was like avocado and brown and dark.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I looked it up because I was like, where did they shoot all these city scenes? Because it was familiar, but not. And I was like, it looks
like Chicago or something, but it wasn't.
It's Vancouver.
Oh.
So, because usually it's when they want New York, but they can't shoot in New York, they do Toronto because it's cheaper.
Right.
So that would make sense. They do Vancouver, which is and then they shot a lot of it in Germany as well. It was all interior in Germany. This is a wild production.
This sounds it looked like a wild production, but yeah. So first of all, dad telling the kid, get over your trauma, hurry up. Kid, he's getting tormented by bullies. So it kind of felt to me like a classic 80s movie from the get-go, just based on what it looked like. The Oshkosh outfits that the kid's wearing and all that stuff. It just felt very familiar. And then he decides to skip math class, goes into this attic that I've never seen before in any sort of public access building or school or anything. The most insane attic with bones everywhere.
Oh yeah, Bonesy's up there.
Hella dusty. That was I was oh my gosh, the amount of dust in the scene. This child actor probably has asthma to this day from that. But
There was no HEPA filters in there.
No, not a single HEPA filter to be found. But it looked cool. Like if I was a kid, I would totally be like kind of creeped out and want to explore that area. I think this whole movie is very metaphorical. We can get into that later. But
I mean, we can get into it now if you want. That's fine.
You know, like hiding in the dusty attic is like, you know, the kid's mind essentially or something. And like maybe I would say all of because it tracks for it being like a German movie, but like, you know, the titties out on the like the statues when he's going through like the gates later on.
Oh yeah, you're jumping to the end. We'll get to it. Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack.
The southern that can go in the fashion section. We could talk about those Sphinx titties because there's a lot of like going back to me. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of like weird like sexual root stuff in this movie for me. Yes. I was like, what is this? I was watching this and I was like, oh, like especially the character of Atreyu. Who, it's funny, I was texting her mom because she was like, oh, Atreyu really reminds me of your Uncle Tim. And I was like, okay, really, I guess I see that. But I was like, for me, Atreyu is so like lesbian coded for a boy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like it's, or just sort of like slightly
very
like
soft,
bisexual.
Masculine features, very like, but he was a child, obviously. So like everybody's kind of doughy when you're a kid.
Right. Well, Atreyu was fit. I feel like that's the thing. And in the book,
was he a heartthrob, you know, for the girlies?
All of these kids in this movie were like one and done, I think. Right. Like maybe they tried to do like other little things, but they were just like, nope, one movie. They were
probably
good.
Too traumatized from this fucking movie to do another one.
They're like, please don't make us work with puppets anymore.
They're in my mind.
Yeah, I close
my eyes and I see the puppets.
You see their eyes still glowing in the dark. So that's a good transition because like we go from, so we're in the real world. Bastian gets the magic book, the Neverending Story from Wish.com, Wilford Brimley, I'm going to call him, and escapes to school, skips his math test, and ends up in an attic with a skeleton. And then as soon as he starts reading, we are instantly transported into a land of puppets. What were your feelings about the puppets and transporting?
Horrifying. I did not like it. I felt very unsettled. And I know this is for the end, but like the first 45 minutes of this movie, I like hated.
Yes. Okay. No, let's get into it.
I hated it so much because I love it. Like, I love it. Stupid ass rock guy rolling up. Like, so like the whole story basically starts about this giant not being able to eat some rocks. Okay. And I'm like, okay, so what does that have to do with anything? And then there's this like almost like a Mad Hatter character who I think like I recognize from like later films.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And then there's like a ugly ass snail, creepy looking dinosaur snail. There's a bat, which they're just like, this bat's stupid. I'm like, leave the bat alone. Like he's the only one I like so far.
I love that bat.
What is it, like a hob is what they called him, a little hobgoblin.
Night Hob. Also, I feel like that character is very bisexual or non-binary coded.
Yeah.
Just Hob. Like doing their own thing. Very dirty. Sort of like a crust punk kind of character.
Yeah. What are they like freeloading in the forest?
They're freeloading. Like, they're chilling.
Out. And so this big ass rock rolls up and he's like, oh, there's not enough delicious rocks in my area. And I'm going to roll down. Why don't you eat yourself, fatty? And then like... He like rolls down on his crazy tricycle or whatever the hell he's riding on, like a little like kid rock thing. And then,
it's his rock trike.
It's his rock trike. Yeah. Like Fisher Price. And like, they're like, oh, we have to go talk to the Empress because the nothing is consuming everything. So there's not. And like, I wasn't quite sure what the nothing was. I'm just like, okay, it's this like weird storm energy that's coming.
Yeah. They kind of show it in the beginning too. And I was always like, tons of like clouds. I don't know how they did that effect. Going back to the Mad Hatter character. So that actor's name is Deep Roy and they're a little person. They've been in like so much stuff. You might remember him as playing the Oompa Loompas in that terrible,
horrible,
terrible Wonka remake back in the early 2000s. Perhaps one of the worst.
Tim
films.
Burton was so up his ass with that. That was horrible.
Yeah, it's not my favorite Burton era. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
he'd flown too close to the sun at that point. But I just wanted to bring that up because they never say his character's name, but I looked it up on IMDb, and the character with the top hat's name is Teeny Weeny, which is offensive.
That is very offensive.
And then we have the Night Hob, and then the Bat, and the So wait, you didn't like the racing snail?
Creepy face. I didn't like it. I guess I liked it that he is actually a racing snail, and I get that this is supposed to be like imagination land. Later on, I kind of got that.
Sure, it's what you can dream.
But I'm just like, ugh, I don't want to dream this ever.
Wow. Okay.
I don't want to dream this ever. So they go to the fucking what is it, the obelisk or whatever the hell they're gonna go
They're gonna go to the ivory tower.
The ivory tower. And the princess is apparently supposed to or the empress is supposed to save them.
Well, it's unclear, but what is established is that the Nothing is destroying Fantasia. They don't know how to stop it. So it's just it's like something that happens, like climate change, right?
Right.
It's just like something bad is happening. We don't have control over it, much like climate change. It's just going to happen, I guess. And the only person who can help us is the childlike empress, but she's sick because she's connected to the land. So you got that right. You were like, all right, I'm following this plot line.
Yeah, and I was watching it last night, and it's who is that almost emperor guy coming out? I'm like, is this Pai Mei from Kill Bill? The long beard.
Oh, right, the wizard guy who comes out with the bump on his head.
Hated all of the people in the clans.
Wait, you hated? Wait, so you hated that scene?
I hated the scene.
Wow.
It felt so reminiscent of which it doesn't make sense because it came before it, but I guess Return to Oz feels reminiscent where everything is very haunted looking. And I'm like, I don't want to be in this land at all.
So you didn't enjoy the huge head people or the double face people or the little face people?
Not one bit.
Wow.
Not one bit. I did not like them. That's what made it feel very 80s to me. I'm like, and I know it's practical effects too, right? So it's you can only do so much with, having the budget probably go to Falkor. It was just very visually unappealing to me. So I was like,
whoa.
Oh no,
Oh, wow. See, okay. I obviously have an opposite take. I loved the creepiness and the kookiness of it. And then rewatching it I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen this movie. Just watching it again, I was like, wow, the colors are really muted. Everything is kind of brown and brocade. I love how we end up talking about fashion. It intermingles. Inevitably.
Yeah, but, it's just what I'm observing, and I couldn't get on board with wanting to save this place. So when they said that, okay, we need this one person, this small child, this warrior, this great warrior, and to their surprise was a child, Atreyu, come save the day, and they have to go find him, right? Or he shows up. He shows up, and then they're like, "Who's this?" No, I'm Atreyu. I'm the one who hunts everything, or I hunt the purple buffalo, or whatever the fuck.
Right.
And he looks very Native American coded.
He definitely is, and I think that they show Bastian looking at his history book when they bring up Atreyu as a character, and it's a Native American hunting a buffalo, and he's like, oh right, it's the same. In the book, Atreyu skin is supposed to be green. Just putting that out there. And I don't know if they considered doing that at a point, but that was probably they're we can't paint this kid green, and it's weird. And right. how are we going to put him on the movie poster? They're going to think he's an alien.
Yeah.
So
considering he's supposed to be going on this adventure, and he's gonna be sweating and getting rained on and all that stuff, it probably wouldn't have held too well on film.
It wouldn't have held up when he was in the swamps of sadness, when the best thing that ever happens in a movie happens.
My God.
Yeah, we could just cut right to there because like after, it's like
he's on this adventure.
He goes right into his quest, and then instantly we're in the swamps of sadness with his beautiful horse Artax. And since this is a nostalgia podcast, it's about childhood memories and trauma. What was your take on that scene?
It was really bad. Like, that's why he drowned. And I'm like, no, don't. I was just like, excuse me? He's supposed to be on this epic adventure, and he can't take his horse through this stupid ass swampland, which, like, did you need the horse to go with you? Could you have not went back and got the horse later? Like, left him on the edge of town kind of thing.
I think they're supposed to be like traveling together. They're supposed to be traveling, like that's his travel buddy and his best friend,
right,
in the whole world.
But the horse is clearly too heavy to walk through this like mucky swamp.
Well, he didn't drown because he was heavy. He was drowned because he's sad.
I know. So the horse was sad because like he's been on this adventure with this boy, and this boy's probably not taking good care of the horse, and the horse just wants to be free.
No, well, it's not that. It's like, I think he's sad because of the nothing. And I don't know if they were clear with that, but if that's
not clear,
I think, well, in the book, it's clear. That's the thing. A lot of the things in the book are explained better, but because of film, they have to like
cut it. It was 95 minutes. Like,
it's like a pretty standard children's movie length. But in the book, it's really fucked up because you can hear, I guess, how do I want to say this? Artax and Atreyu have a telepathic bond.
Okay.
And they can hear their voices, each other's voices in their head. Yeah. And Artax is like, I'm so sad, master. Go on and leave me. Let me die here. No. It's so rough. And I think it is a scene that has traumatized a whole generation of children. It is like the saddest thing that could ever happen in a movie ever. And I was always like, how did they do this with this horse? Because there was this urban legend that the horse actually died during the making of the movie.
Oh, no.
Which is not true.
Okay.
They actually used two horses. It was funny. I looked it up on Wikipedia.
I was going to say, Viggo Mortensen would never stand for this type of horse character treatment.
No, Viggo would never. They used two horses. They achieved this effect by putting the horse who was being filmed on a platform and then covering it with water to make sure like the horse's head actually never went underwater. And according to the internet, this horse lived 20 years after the movie.
That's good.
Yeah. So it was fine. Don't worry. But the movie, like, imagine seeing that at 6. Imagine seeing that at 6 years old. Now you know. Now you know.
Now you know. Yeah. Horrible.
And we were allowed to watch this multiple times.
The 80s, man. Rough. It sounds like for everybody.
I think we're finally getting to the heart of the podcast.
Yeah.
And if anything,
rough.
If anything, it's going to give you greater respect for me as as an elder sibling, someone who's already lived life. And if anything, you just know why we all are the way we are. Yeah. So
Swamp of Sadness, terrible. Hated the turtle. Disgusting. COVID turtle was horrible.
I wrote COVID turtle too.
No way.
Okay. I was like, I literally wrote in my notes, this turtle has coronavirus.
Fucking gross.
Yeah, like, I always hated her too.
Girl,
I think tortoise. She would be a tortoise. Morla, the tortoise. She's not a turtle. I think. I don't know. Anyway, she's a jerk, and the only reason she's there is to set up a scene where she tells, like, she basically does a lore drop. The whole thing about the movie that I found, I was like, oh right, I don't remember this. I didn't remember this, but the whole movie is very episodic. It's kind of like, okay, and this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. Almost kind of like a TV show. Yeah, Marla, the Corona turtle, is a huge jerk. I remember hating her as a kid. I was like, this turtle is such a jerk.
This turtle sucks.
But also, like, as an adult, like, you get it. Because you're just like, she's like, yeah, I don't care if I die. And I'm like, all right.
I'm allergic to youth. I'm like, okay. Okay, sis.
As an adult who also like doesn't like super care for kids, I'm just like, yeah, I get it. She's in her swamp of sadness. Like, she just wants to be left alone, but she's not super helpful. And she's like, oh yeah. So the secret is you have to go to the Southern Oracle to figure out the secret of the movie. But it is 10,000 miles away. And I had to look up on the internet. I was like, so what is like 10,000 miles from anything?
Right.
And I found out that from New York City, where I currently reside, 10,000 miles from here is Perth, Australia. So imagine walking all the way to Perth, Australia. I was like, what is the longest like unbroken landmass? So like from Portugal to the end of Russia, that's only 9,000 miles.
Holy crap.
Right.
I was like from like maybe the top of North America to South America, considering you'd have to go across the Panama Canal.
I think from here, I looked up from New York City to the bottom tip of Argentina. It's only like 9,000.
That's crazy.
It's so long. Anyway, 10,000. And she's just like, sorry, haha, you're going to have to walk 10,000 miles.
It's like, fuck them kids.
Fuck them kids. Yeah, so that sucked. But it sets us up nicely to, well, after that, Atreyu has to sludge through the swamps. And who's chasing him? Everybody's favorite character.
Mr. Falcor?
No. Who's trying to get him?
Wolf.
Right. Do you remember his name?
No, I forgot it already.
It's okay if you don't. His name is Gamork.
Gamork, yes, correct. Okay, yeah.
We can get deeper into Gamork when we talk about his special scene. But he is very scary, I think. You can agree.
He is scary.
He's a spooky little guy.
He's a big guy.
He's a pretty big guy, but he's chasing Atreyu through the swamp. Atreyu's trying to get his steps in. He's not doing too good. And then Falcor scoops him up and takes and he flies him to his destination. Convenient, like Deus Ex Machina. Oh, how are we going to get him there? Well, let's have this luck dragon.
Right. Oh, guess what?
What were your feelings about Falcor?
I thought that he would be bigger. He was very slim. He's really funny looking. Like, obviously, like I said before, he looks like a dog, kind of. Like a dog lizard. And with a mustache. And I thought it was so funny that like he's always winking at him and stuff, like his big puppet eyes. Like, was somebody like in his head, like moving the stuff around, or like it's just he seemed bigger, but then like at certain points in the movie seemed smaller. I don't know. I liked him though. I liked him. I was like, okay, he's fascinating. He seems very like not scary, but also terrifying.
It's funny as an adult watching. I mean, I remember as a kid just being so obsessed with Falcor, and I'm like, oh my God, what I wouldn't give to have a luck dragon to scoop me up and fly me around. I would love that so much. There's like a weird lasciviousness about him. Like, he's a little flirty.
He's definitely a little flirty. He's very playful.
He's like, and I'm like, who are you talking to? This prepubescent boy like that for?
He's like
what? He's like, you know what I mean?
What I mean? Wink, wink.
It's so nice to have a luck dragon on your side. You know what I'm saying, baby boy?
Exactly.
But he took Atreyu to right to where the Southern Oracle gates are. And there's like, this was a part that was confusing to me as a kid, because I was like, okay, that's the Southern Oracle, right? These Sphinx ladies with their titty out.
Yeah.
But then there's like a snow gate after that. And then there's like
a second gate of the same Sphinx ladies.
Same Sphinx ladies, but they're blue. And it almost reminded me of a video game. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like you have to go through like certain levels.
Yeah, trials.
Yeah, and he gets to meet two of my favorite characters in the movie, Engiwook and Urgel.
I did like them.
Yeah, it's like classic couple vibes, just like cranky at each other.
Yeah.
What did you feel about, like, once we've transitioned out of the swamp of sadness, you're feeling about this?
Couldn't be happier to get out of that stupid ass swamp. Like the whole, like I said, the first 45 minutes of the movie, I fucking hated. It was just like, I'm creeped out. Why are we here? What's the point? And then, it would flash back to the kid, like reading the book and like, getting ready. Like he's participating in the story, much like he's in it. Right. So he's like eating a bite of his sandwich and he's like, there's still so far to go. I can't eat the whole sandwich yet, like, okay. And so finally, once like, Falcor brings him to like this galaxy land,
galaxy land, like, sure.
Yeah. It's like, it's the like night sky. And I was just like, okay, this is nice. This is better. This feels like a little like cool drink of water here. I loved the dynamic between the husband and the wife, both very funny. The professor, he was very receiving. They both like were just so excited to have this boy here, which I thought was cool. Obviously you can see like the camera shifting to try to make him look a lot bigger than them.
Right. They were doing a little trickery.
Yeah, a little camera trickery. Gave him some like gross tea to drink.
Sure. As one does. I mean, I feel like the character of Urgel, I relate to a lot. I'm like, she's very cranky, but if you come to her house, she's going to give you a restorative tonic.
Yeah.
Or tea. And I forget that. I think her name is Patricia. I'm forgetting her last name, but she was also in the movie Willow. I don't know if you remember her.
Okay, no, I don't remember her in it, but
she is the witch who was an animal that they have to transform back into a human.
Okay.
And it was like that. Yeah, she's great. She's done a lot of stuff, but yeah, I also love Galaxyland. I was obsessed with the Sphinxes, specifically the first gate. I bring it up frequently, a lot of times to people that I work with, talking about like confidence and how to sell confidence. And I will frequently use the analogy of the Sphinxes. I'm like, you've seen Neverending Story, right? And it's like, the Sphinxes of the Southern Oracle. And like, you can fake being brave, but if you aren't really brave, you're going to get zapped with those eye lasers from the big titty Sphinx. And that's just life.
That's just life.
So you better fucking believe in yourself. That's it. And do it for real. Yeah, I think of that all the time. I'm like, wait, they can see into your heart?
They can sense everything about you.
They
zapped that night. They zapped him, and then they do like the jump scare where he opens the face mask of the armor, and it's all like crusty, crispy body.
He's burnt.
He's burnt. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I was just like, this kid is wilding out. I can't believe he's actually about to go through these, and he like barely makes it in. So like you could tell he doubted himself at the last second.
He did. And something as a kid that I could not let go is that, okay, he just got to this galaxy land. He just met Falcor, I know, but like, why didn't he use Falcor to fly over the Sphinxes or around them as opposed to having to go through them?
I mean, maybe there's like an invisible wall or something.
Yeah, that was, I've, as a writer, I try to like think like, how would I justify something like that? Yeah,
how can I get around this?
There's a force field. Like maybe if you flew over it, they would like point their eyes up and zap you with their titty lasers. Maybe they had like different lasers.
Right.
For the sky. Yeah, but he makes it through just barely. He gets to, and I think we have to bring up the fact that Bastian has been following along. We're cutting back and forth between Fantasia and the book reading. And we've established that Bastian, like there's a point in the Swamps of Sadness, Bastion is reading about it, gets so scared that he screams, and then Atreyu and the coronavirus turtle hear it.
Right.
So yeah, what did you think about that part?
I thought there was going to be more of like Bastion going into the world based on like how he can interact with it. But at the same time, maybe, I mean, like I said, this is probably all very metaphorical, but I don't know, I'm kind of lost at that because it's just like, okay, like, yeah, they can hear him, and obviously, like, he's keeping the story alive, right, by reading it. Right. But I don't know. I just thought like he was going to be he's going to be with Atreyu, like doing some of these tasks or whatever.
Well, spoiler alert, that's for the second half of the book. So if you ever read the book, it's like a two-parter.
Oh,
so
okay.
the first half is him reading the book, and it like cuts between the text of the actual book, and then it's like hops out just so you can like get the Bastion's perspective.
Right.
And then the book is like part 2, and then it's Bastion in the story. Now he's a part of it, and everything is like the same text, like he's become a part of the book. So I think it is cool. And then they, like I said, there are 2 very not good sequels where they get into it more, where Bastion is a part of Fantasia or Fantastica, and he, I mean, spoiler alert, he has a bit of a heel turn. Like he becomes a big jerk because he uses like all of his wishes to, it's if you want to talk about being metaphorical or having a theme or something, he has too much power, just like men do when they get too much power. It's like, well, I wish for this, 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 and this. And then of course, like, why wouldn't you wish to be king? Why wouldn't you wish to have all the money? Why wouldn't you wish to like own all the land? So it's just sort of like a cautionary tale in that sense. So, and I think the book resolves in a positive manner, but
okay, good.
Yeah, they don't really get in the first movie. Yeah, no, it's just, you just get little glimpses. So yeah, that was like the scream in the swamps of sadness. That was a hint. And then the most confusing part for me in this movie as a child, and I relived this while I was rewatching it last night, is the second gate, like the snow gate, where Atreyu is like looking into this gate that is a mirror, and then he sees an image of Bastion. And as a kid, I remember being so confused because I was like, what's happening? Is like the veil thinning and I feel like as a director, Wolfgang Peterson, who directed this, who's directed many, many fine films like In the Line of Fire, Das Boot, tons of stuff. He should have had, I feel he should have, how like you would hear Bastion with the voiceover reading the book. I think at that point it should have been like Atreyu came up to the snowy gate and he peered inside and he could see his reflection. All of a sudden the image shimmered, and there he saw the image of a little boy covered in a blanket reading by candlelight. Like you want to hear what is actually happening. It would have made such, and like that is cool to me. I'm like, he's like looking through a portal. Right. Basically.
Yeah. That part was cool. Like I know that it wasn't like portrayed well, but to like feel like, okay, like the only reason any of this exists is because he's reading it and because he's believing in it. So it's kind of like, that darkness versus the light, or like imagination versus reality.
Yeah. Or the fact that like when you read, and I think this is a cool theme, is 2 people like ourselves who are, I would say, avid readers, or we do read books.
We dabble.
we read books sometimes.
I read book.
The fact that you as a reader are a participant in the story, and you're a part of it. So I always thought that was so cool as a kid, and I was like obsessed with reading as a kid. So just the fact that it's like, and always like that idea of like, I want to be a part of the story, which is why eventually like I went from being just like a bookish kid to a kid who did theater to an adult who plays Dungeons and Dragons.
Right. Yeah.
Like wanting to be, always wanted to be like, what are those books called? Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yes. Love a Choose Your Own Adventure novel. Those tend to be some of my favorites.
Which is just a baby RPG. That's like Dungeons and Dragons at its most basic level. I mean, you don't roll a character, you get assigned a character.
Right.
But that's it. And it's like, do you choose this or this? And then you experience the consequences of your actions. Much like in real life.
Much like in real life. Yeah. And then, so he goes through the second gate essentially, but then like winds up at the third gate, which is just the first gate, but blue.
Right. How'd you feel about the blue? As like, what was your favorite gate? Was it the first one with the laser eyes, or was it where the blue?
I mean, it has to be the second one. But if I'm going between 1 and 3, I guess 3, because they at least talk to him, But yeah, I was just like, I was kind of confused as to what, like, not saying that there was to be more trials and tribulations, but it seemed kind of like easy to just go through these gates. He did it pretty quickly.
Yeah, and they did and it was a little anticlimactic because it was like, well, we just have to go to these gates to figure out how to save the Empress. So they were waiting for him to like prove himself going through all of these gates so they could just say that the Empress needs a new name. And
yeah,
Bastion's like sitting there reading this and he's like, I would love to name this Empress. I'd name her after my dead mom.
Oh my gosh. Trauma alert.
Meanwhile, it's like fucking midnight. Who is
no one has gone to search for this child. I guess it's the 80s, right? Like, this is just what happens.
Right. They're like, I guess they'll come home eventually.
Right. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, he'll be there. Like, the dad's probably like, good riddance,
Yeah, no, the dad is not looking for Bastion. It is late.
It is very late. Yeah, it had to have been at least midnight for sure. That's a thick book he's reading too.
It's so thick. I want to say his reading speed is admirable. It's really good. So they tell him the very easy thing that he needs to do. He just has to go back and give her a name. And so he's on his way back. There's a great big storm. Oh no, it's the nothing. Atreyu falls off of Falcor's back. He lands in the ocean, thank God. Although that would also kill you if you...
Realistically, yeah, you would be dead.
You would be dead because...
Fantasia.
It's Fantasia, and he ends up like on a shore. Everything is super sad and fucked up. We see your favorite character, the Rockbiter, again.
I know. Hate him.
I love it. That's my favorite thing, that you can't stand him.
Cannot stand his ugly face and the fact that all he's doing is eating rocks. He's useless.
Well, he does say he's useless in the end because were you awake?
His hands couldn't save his friends. Like his might, he couldn't save anybody.
His big, strong hands.
Yeah.
He could. It's like one of the saddest monologues ever, where he talks about his strength doesn't matter. And that leads us into, we have a lot of sad scenes, but I have to say this is perhaps one of the scariest scenes in cinema of the 80s, where he's exploring the ruins of the city. It reminded me of, we haven't talked about Return to Oz on this pod. Maybe we will. I don't know.
We might.
But
it's worth a rewatch. I don't remember everything exact, so...
It reminds me very much of the scene where Dorothy returns to Oz and like everything is like in ruins and crumbled and fucked up. And Atreyu is looking at all of these murals on the wall. Do you remember this part?
Yeah. So it's like recapping his entire story.
Right. He sees the whole story laid out again. For me, I don't know if it hit as hard for you. The scariest moment is when he's like, oh, here's a mural of my horse drowning. Here's a mural of me finding Falcor. Here's a mural of me going through the Oracle. Oh, here's an unrelated picture of a huge fucking wolf.
Right. Coming to apparently look at me with his creepy green eyes.
Literally the scariest picture ever. And then you hear a growl and I was like, that's it. I'm out. I'm done. As a kid, I was like, get out of here. And then the musical, we haven't talked about the score yet. I just think it's gorgeous. The music for this movie is gorgeous. And that musical sting they do when they show Gamork in the cave is so scary to me, even now. I don't know if that's just my childhood. I don't know if it hit like that for you.
It definitely did. It probably, because I watched it now as a 33-year-old, not as intense as probably what you would have felt as a 6-year-old. But
you've lived through a lot of trauma as a millennial, you know.
Yeah, there are other things that are a little more scary going on
in real life. In real life, like, right now.
Oddly enough, I mean, maybe not oddly enough, a lot of my favorite animals tend to be predators. So, like, I would say one of, obviously, we touched on with Jaws that orcas are very much my favorite animal. I would say wolves and dragons are like right there, second and third. I love a wolf. So I was like, ooh, spooky, ooky wolf, but I like him. Okay. There's something about him I like.
So Rockbiter can fucking eat it. And
he can fucking eat rocks. Kick rocks, Rockbiter.
But Gamork, you're like, hey, daddy, what's up?
Yeah, Gamork, I was like, he's a vibe, actually. He's fierce.
Actually, I love him.
I do love him. Yeah, he's probably my second favorite character of the entire movie because, like, his monologue at the end was incredible.
It's one of my favorite. That was the part, rewatching it now as an adult, it hits so hard. He talks about, Atreus like, what are you? And he's like, I'm Gamork. I work from the nothing. And Atreus like, well, why would you do that? And he was like, you know what? When people don't have any hope, they're very easy to control. And the people who have control have the power. And I was like, hell yeah.
It's true.
That's the way. And I was like, still happening today.
Very relevant.
Very relevant. Honestly, it is such a, I still find that scene very inspiring. And I was like, oh, right. Like, that's what they want. They want everyone to like lose hope and be like a doomer about everything and be sad and be like, what am I supposed to do? The world's ending anyway, and bad people are in control. It's like, no, that's what they want. They want you to be sad. Like, girl, don't stop dreaming. Keep making your stupid fucking art,
Yeah,
like,
these creepy ass puppets. It's fine. Like,
yeah, make a creepy ass puppet. If anything, this movie inspires you to make a creepy ass puppet. I have to say, like, that scene where, first of all, Gamork is fierce. Atreyu is really fierce in the scene. It's just like, why do you need a good villain to like bring out like heroic qualities in your hero?
Right.
Like that part where like everything's shaking and he grabs a piece of rock and he's like, if I'm going to die fighting. I'm Atreyu, come for me. And as a kid, I must have acted out that scene about 100 times.
Oh my God.
With like a butter knife.
Come for me.
It's just so badass. It's so hard. Like, Atreyu's like, fuck this. I'm going to die anyway. And I'm going to go for it. let me kill this wolf.
Yeah. And he certainly does with one stab.
Yeah, Gamork is so fast too. Like, I'm like imagining all these German puppeteers just like shooting him like out of some hydraulic thing.
And everyone just, the team throws it across the scene.
There's like 4 German, like behind the scenes, in black turtlenecks, just like chucking a life-size wolf puppet at a child. That's what's happening.
Oh my God.
That's what's happening. It's great. Yeah, at that point, it's like, yeah, all we have left is, the world gets destroyed. It finally happens. Everything breaks apart.
Tectonic plates style.
Tectonic plates implode. Atreyu has to go back to the childlike empress and be like, sorry, I couldn't do it. I couldn't find the kid who's going to name you.
Right.
What were your thoughts on the childlike empress?
Back to everything being very sexualized. Loved like the almost very feminine walls that he walks through to get to this young lady.
Yeah, and we are talking about kids, but it is very vaginal.
It is. And so like gets to her and, she's just chilling. She's obviously not like totally affected. I mean, she's affected by it, but like she's clearly like of clear mind and able to speak to him. She's not as sick as she appeared, like was thought to be.
She has an invisible illness.
True. Yeah.
Maybe she's just mentally ill.
That's fine. That makes sense.
She's still, I thought she was, as a kid, I thought she was like literally the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen.
Yeah. I mean,
in my life.
Her everything was done like very well. Her makeup was very glowy, ethereal. Her costuming was good. She's like sitting almost like, it reminds me of like a Venus sculpture, or just very like ethereal, very like almost like she's sitting in like a clamshell, if you will. And
she is mother.
Yeah. This little girl is ruling the world. I'm like, you go, sis.
Go, sis. Girl boss from your ivory tower. She is girl bossing so hard. The world is crumbling. And she's just like, you did it, Atreyu. Like all this garbage was the whole point. You had to live through all this trauma to bring this child with you.
Yeah.
And the whole climax of the world falling apart, Atreyu like getting knocked out, I guess, and then she like has to break the fourth wall and like
that was very meta, very very straight,
staring right at the screen. Yeah, like
screen.
And then Bastion famously gets up out of the dusty attic and runs to the window. It's also like the world's falling apart outside. So did you hear what Bastion yelled out the window? Is my question. I want to know. That's really the most burning question of the day.
I did, but I don't remember it, as I did watch it last night and I'm still processing.
Wait. So you can't remember what he yelled at the window? Well, no one could. Here's the thing. So we all saw this in the 80s at a time when there were no subtitles, unless you had like some like special, I don't know, TV that did it for you. Maybe if you were hard of hearing. Right. I could not figure out what he yelled for years. I was like, what is he screaming? That was one of the reasons why I got the book, because I had to go in and read it.
Right. And know what he was screaming.
And I watched it streaming, and the streaming service that I used yesterday had incorrect subtitles.
Yeah,
so when he throws open the window and he yells, it just says yelling.
Oh no.
It just says yelling. It doesn't say what. So he actually screams the name Moonchild.
Oh.
He goes, Moonchild. And that's the name of his mom.
What?
Girl, get into it.
His mom was named Moonchild? Was she on a fucking commune?
Well, I guess it would have been time appropriate because it would have been early 80s. Maybe she was on a commune in the 70s. But yeah, so he screams the name Moonchild out the window, names the Empress, and is like sucked into Fantasia, into a void. Like now he's in the void and he's chatting with her, and all they have is this last grain of sand, which is the thing that he has to wish on.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yeah, I was always obsessed. I was like, okay, what is he screaming out the window? And when I found out, I was like, that's it. Moonchild. Yeah, that's it.
Wow. All right. Maybe that's why Dad was so hard on him. He was like, I'm tired of your mourning over your hippie ass mom. Like
yeah, I regret ever impregnating her. The end.
Exactly. Very on theme. Yeah.
But yeah, he gets to chat with this. I mean, it's such an iconic scene between the childlike Empress and Bastion, and she's just like, well, you have to wish or the nothing happens. And I was just like, these are some really powerful themes for children.
Mm-hmm.
That like, yeah, you have to keep dreaming of stupid snail puppets and bat puppets. I guess that was the big takeaway for me. I was like, oh, right. Like you have to hold on to that whimsy no matter what, or else it's just like darkness and despair. And of course, Bastion's first wish is to what?
Ride on Falkor.
Hell yeah.
I gotta ride on this Falkor guy, take him for a ride.
Yeah, I have to say, and again, I'm the general impression I'm getting as we're winding down is like, I'm like, oh, right. Melanie's seen this as a 33-year-old adult. She was not 6 and impressionable. It just does not hit as hard. Because I'm sorry, when I saw Bastion on the back of that luck dragon when I was 6 years old, it gave me enough serotonin to live my life.
To continue living.
When I was 6 years old, yeah. And just like, I was like listening to the soundtrack in anticipation of watching it. And I was like, that music still hits for me. Like when I hear the song on the soundtrack is called Falkor's Magic Ride or something, and putting it on, I'm still like, oh my God, like That's it. I'm flying
around.
I'm flying around Vancouver. I'm putting bullies in the trash. I'm getting revenge on the back of my. I'm sure it's like very much how you felt watching Game of Thrones and you're seeing Daenerys ride a dragon for the first time. You know, it's like
probably so.
And that's such like a huge payoff too, because you're like, oh, she suffered so much. And so when the eggs finally hatch and she has her dragons, it's like
that was a big game changer for sure.
Mean, it's earned, right? That's what we talk about, like narrative. Like you have to make your characters suffer so they earn it. And when they do get their flowers or their dragons or whatever, it's like so satisfying because you have to work with them, you know?
Yeah. At the end, when he was chasing the bullies with Falcor, I just wish he opened up with some fire on these kids. I don't know what in me wants to do that. Like the dragon I want breathes fire.
Whoa, you wanted to
roast them kids, yeah, fireball style.
You wanted to fully make it a different movie.
Yeah,
you were ready for murder.
Straight up, like you gonna bully me? Never again.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was a satisfying ending for a child story. It kind of sets us up for a sequel, all which were terrible, but that's fine. We don't have to like. I feel like it ended on a good spot. And yeah, like I said, all these kids who did this movie, as far as I know, they were kind of like, yep, that's it. It's the only movie I'm going to do. I'm good now.
I'm traumatized enough. Thank you so much. Exactly.
I know you say you hated the look of this movie. Were there any like aesthetic, design, fashion moments that like stood out for you? I know it's not that kind of movie, and we've talked about better fashion movies before, but it's okay if there's nothing too.
I mean, I feel like it definitely leaned into like the true 80s aesthetic because considering it was like a 1984 movie, it's like peak 80s. So like the kids' outfits in the beginning, like running around, all of that tracked. It felt, very of the time. It wasn't trying to be in the future. It wasn't trying to be in the past. As far as like aesthetics, the only thing I really fully enjoyed, I would say, was the girl at the end, the Moonchild now, as we'll know her. Her look was great. I guess they did a good job of like making like a spectrum of like character arc and stuff. So like, Bastion was in through all this mud. He was, cleaned up by Falcor. I don't know how they cleaned him up. I'm assuming like.
Oh, you mean Atreyu?
Atreyu, yeah, sorry. Yep. So with him, like with Atreyu being like, I don't know, still in that like Native American sort of aesthetic with these goblins. I don't know. It was all over the place. And for me, I was like a little bit lost in the sauce. I couldn't quite enjoy it as much as like, everybody else. I just, there were some things that took me out of it, like the creepy creatures. I did not like them at all.
Okay. Wait, have you...
The only one I liked was Falcor and Gamorreek.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, it's like the whole point of this is like I share pieces of pop culture and childhood with you, and we see if it resonates. Again, is this something you need to watch when you're an impressionable child? As an adult, I could see like having a hard time becoming emotionally attached to it. It's like, that this is an example I can think of. Of that Swedish cartoon called Moomins?
Yes.
Right. So I didn't grow up with Moomins. I know that a lot of people have affection for them, especially people who grew up in like Sweden and who like that kind of aesthetic or had, that was like a cultural touchstone for them. I look at these creatures and I'm like, I mean, they're cute, but like, I don't get that warm, fuzzy feeling because I didn't grow up with it.
Right.
Right. It's not whereas I look at things like, Neverending Story or Dark Crystal or Labyrinth. You've seen Labyrinth, right?
So I think I've seen it once, but I have no idea what happens in that movie. So it's definitely worth a rewatch. I just know David Bowie's in it.
David Bowie's in it. He's romancing a teen. It's problematic. And
We'll definitely watch it for the pod because I can't tell you a single thing about that movie except for that he was in it. So
what I'm getting is that I need to traumatize you with as many puppet movies as possible. And maybe that's going to be the new direction of the pod.
Maybe that's my biggest fear. Like, I'm not like a sub animatronic, like phobic person or anything like the sunken. I don't know. It's just like certain puppetry gives me the creeps, and maybe that's what it's supposed to do. But other times, like it can be nice and familiar, like a Sesame Street, or I would even say, like, what's another good puppet movie that we watched as kids? Like, what's another iconic puppet movie?
I mean, there are so many from the 80s. Dark Crystal, there's Labyrinth, there's this one.
Just saw this one.
Oh boy. There's so many. I'm going to make a list of puppet movies. We're going to get into exactly. We're going to lean hard into the 80s because 70s and 80s were like peak puppetry. We're going to do some animation. We're going to get into practical effects. Let's wrap it up with the rating. Like we're going to have to create our own rating system.
I know. Like the last couple movies have been giving thumbs ups, and I feel like this one earns a solid 1 thumbs up, but yeah, I think I'm going to have to watch it again, knowing what I know now about like the ending. I'd give it like a 6. It was imaginative, but I didn't have a ton of fun.
Wow. Okay. Hard to hear.
I'm sorry. No, the ending really did save it. The connecting of the two worlds. I think maybe reading the book would probably make more sense because you get to know like what happens later. Like you said, the heel turn that he does, like he gets all of these wishes now. And his first wish obviously is to ride Falcor. And it kind of just leaves off at that. So it's like, okay, now what?
Yeah, I would recommend. I mean, if you need a book, it is long. It is thick. It's a thick book, but I think you would like it. It is a children's story. Very, very German. Read it in German.
Oh my gosh.
Luke Draka.
Yeah.
Lecker.
Sehr lecker.
Sehr lecker. All right. So yeah, our rating system, you're going to give it, like we're going back to school, A to F. What do you give this movie?
I would give it a C.
Wow. You gave it a C?
I would give it a C.
This is an important film to me, and you're saying it was a C to you.
What would you give it?
I mean, watching it as an adult, my unbiased, well, it can't be unbiased. As an adult, I would give it like a B+ because there are a lot of plot holes in it.
So many plot holes.
So, and like stuff like now, like as a writer and somebody who's done films before, I would make some different artistic decisions for sure.
Yeah.
But it's impossible for me to be unbiased with this film is what I'm saying. It's never going to be below a B because it is so formative for me and has like really, as a child, really kicked off my love for fantasy, for all things puppetry, for everything sort of like weird.
Makes sense.
There's something I think with, we can get into this more with other movies, which I think we're going to feature on this podcast. Like there is something about 80s fantasy that is so like, I know I keep bringing up like queerness a lot in like characters, but it is very queer coded. And it's like, it is really for people who feel sort of other and outside the norm, like weird. It's a movie full of weird little guys, it's just like a weird little guy movie. And I always love a weird little guy movie.
And there's nothing like overly masculine about Atreyu. There's like not a lot of, I guess, like gender roles except for like the husband and wife at the end and potentially like the Empress. But even she's kind of like squishy, like she doesn't have quite like, I mean, besides her looks.
I feel like the childlike Empress is just drag. She's like in her diva outfit. I think Atreyu and Bastian could both have been played by girls. Like you just switch gender and it works just the same.
Right.
And like I said, Atreyu to me is very sort of like lesbian or non-binary sort of feeling that there's like a femininity, even though there's a lot of strength as well. And I just think that was like
not
so
feminine though.
Right. But I mean, like, think of the time when this was made. You like the context is always important. And that's the thing for me. It's like back in the day, it was like you don't understand like how girl and boy separated toys were. Like you were into G.I. Joe and Transformers, or you liked doll babies because you had to like learn to be a mother. Right. And just like take care of children, even back then, like even in the 80s. So for there to be this movie with these characters just like interested in like having adventures and meeting strange creatures. Yeah. And they weren't like, oh, like I'm like super, you know, being like a super like tough masculine boy. I think they definitely touch on themes of like being brave. But it doesn't feel like, oh, you got to grow up and be a man. Like, I mean, the dad could have maybe.
Except for the dad, the asshole dad.
Right. I think it would have been like more of an American movie that would have come up, but it is very German in the sense like it's not so much about being masculine, but like having no emotions. And that's why it feels very German to me. Yeah. Any closing thoughts on Neverending Story, which you hated, and I am crushed?
I didn't hate it. I didn't totally hate it. I just didn't attach to it. Like
I know.
No, it's almost too late for me. But also, like, I feel like if I watched it as a kid, I would have been so terrified.
Well, I was.
Yeah, I was. Guess what? I was.
Guess what? I was, and we're traumatized to the point where it is 2025 and I'm still talking about this movie.
Incredible.
And forcing people to watch it. So thank you for being a part of my trauma.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
And I think we finally kind of landed on what we're going to continue with. More 80s, more dark fantasy, more puppets. We're going to go, I think in our next pod, we're going to cover, I'll just spoil it right now. I think we're going to cover The Witches by Roald Dahl, which you haven't read the book either.
Nope.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Don't read it. Don't look it up. You're just going to watch The Witches. We're going to get into puppetry and special effects. This is going to be a wonderful journey, folks. Buckle up because my sister.
Fasten your seatbelt on Falcor.
Fasten your seatbelt on that luck dragon because we're going to keep exploring the wonderful world of practical effects. It's going to be a real luck dragon ride. So I think that's all for today on the VHS Sisters pod.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us this long, guys. We appreciate it.
Yeah, this is a good one. I feel like this is our best one yet, and I'm just going to keep improving every day. We got to make another wish.
Yes, we do. Wish on that grain of sand, guys.
Wish. Just don't forget to keep on wishing.
That's right.
And we will see you next time.
All right, goodbye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of VHS Sisters. We hope you've had a fun and cozy time. Please consider liking, leaving a review, and following us on your podcast platform of choice. If you'd like to chat with us, please email us at VHSsisterspodcast@gmail.com. Love you. Bye.